Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Boy, is it good to be back home and be back in the kitchen and be back with y'all. We're getting ready for Independence Day and we're going to be grilling some pork chops. Now, if you're looking to save money on your next cookout, whether it's for July 4th or Labor Day or maybe Memorial Day sometime in the future, or just a big family get-together, back to school bash or something, a pork loin is an excellent way to go. The grocery stores still have them on sale all the time for $2 a pound. I haven't seen one for less than that in a while, but you can still get them for $2 a pound, and I got this one for $1.99. Now, here's a tip. They always have them sliced up, pre-sliced and sitting there, but they charge you $1 more a pound if it's pre-sliced. They will slice it for you for free. So pick out the whole one that is unsliced and then ask the butcher to slice it. And I got these sliced. It's supposed to be about a ½ inch thick, but I think it looks like it's a little closer to 3/4 of an inch, and some of them even look like they might be an inch. But that's okay because I'm not feeding that many people. If you're feeding a lot of people though, and you get ½ inch pork chops, this will go a long way because this is 10 pounds of meat, a little over 10 pounds of meat, and I got it for $21. So for $21, you can feed a big crowd. And even if you want to feed them 8 ounces a piece, which is 4 times what the FDA says is a serving of protein right now, you could still feed over 20 people with this. Now, over 20 people for $20, that's pretty good. It's like $1 a person to feed them 8 ounces. And you're not going to find any other meat choice at this time for any less than that. Hamburgers are going to cost you probably $2, $3 a person, maybe more than that, even if you do small quarter-pound hamburgers. Hot dogs are going to cost you as much as a pork loin. So anyway, here's how I'm going to fix this. Now, this was a whole pork loin, and I had the whole thing sliced. I'm not going to grill the end chops because nobody likes the fatty end chop. Well, some people do, but most people do not like the fatty end chops that have the marbling all through them. I'm going to put them in my Instapot over here, and I'm going to do pulled pork sandwiches out of them. And the sliced pork loin makes really good pulled pork sandwiches. I have up a video where I used it to make pulled pork sandwiches, and I'm going to link that so you know just exactly how to do it. But I'm not going to go into that whole lot in this. I'll link that video. And I did them in the other video in my Dutch oven, just on the stovetop. I'm using my Instapot today because it does not heat up the kitchen at all. And that's from the original package right there, where I had the whole pork loin sliced, which, like I said, will save you $1 a pound. And when you're buying 20 pounds of pork loin, that's $20 or $10. I bought 10 pounds. It saves you $10 to have the butcher slice it fresh when you go in. And, once it's sliced, it doesn't last as long, so you want to have it sliced anyway. That way it'll stay in your refrigerator longer. So let's get these end chops off of here, and we're going to throw them in our pot for our pulled pork. And like I said, I will link that video. These don't look bad, but one thing about pork, you do want to be really, really careful because cross-contamination is a big deal, especially with pork. And that is one reason why I always prepare anything that I'm going to be grilling in the kitchen, because it makes it easier to wash my hands and to clean up. I've got the sink right here. I always put down enough on my countertop to protect my countertop because I don't want to get this all down in my countertop. And I obviously am preparing this before a big cookout because I'm showing you how I'm doing it. So most of this is going to go in my freezer. Some of it will go in my refrigerator, and I will actually have it on the 4th of July. with my family, especially the pulled pork sandwiches. Oh gosh, and that's why I have the plastic down. Ugh. But the pork chops, I'll divide those up, what we don't use today. And I do have a few folks coming over today that are going to eat. But what we don't use today, I will divide them up. And I'll put them in packages of 2 or 3 and put them in the freezer. And I can pull them out in the winter. And I have fresh grilled pork chops in the winter. A food saver is great. If you live alone or there's just a couple of you in the house, I highly recommend a food saver. Okay, I think that's about what I'm going to put in there for the... I've got some pork chops here, you know, that have a little bit of fat on the end, but those are fine. I mean, those will be good grilled. They'll have a lot of flavor and they'll be very moist. I've already got my spices in here, but like I said, I'll link that video, and I'm going to do these on high slow cooker, because I don't need it till late this evening. I'm going to do that for dinner and these for lunch. But you can do it if you want to do it in your Instapot or your pressure cooker. You can have the pulled pork sandwiches ready in less than an hour. Pressure cook them for like 30-45 minutes. Take your lid off, add your barbecue sauce, you know, and do it that way. And I use the same seasonings for my pork chops as I use for my pulled pork. Now, for how we're going to season our pork chops. I'm going to tenderize these, and then I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag in my refrigerator to let them marinate a little while before I take them out to the grill. And I'm going to marinate them in the spices. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can use to marinate them in. My basic go-to is a little lemon juice. You want something acidic. You can add a little buttermilk to your marinade. A lot of folks like to do that because it is acidic. Pineapple juice would work well because pineapple goes really good with pork. You could also use apple juice because apple goes really good with pork. Just pick flavors that you like. I always add a little honey into my pork or my chicken because I think it needs a little bit of help. I mean, the flavor of pork and chicken, it just needs a little help. And I'm not going to do much, maybe a tablespoon. Pickle juice makes a great marinade too, especially for pork chops on the grill. I don't know why, but that little extra wang of the dill pickle juice, I like that. You can even just use vinegar if you want to, a few tablespoons of vinegar in your marinade. I always do onion powder, salt and pepper. You can, if you've got some kind of spice mix that you like, you can do a spice mix in them. And you can either put barbecue sauce on them or you can just grill them and leave them plain. But anyway, let me get my marinade mixed up here. And I think I'm going to use a little lemon juice and a little bit of the dill pickle juice today. Now, the dill pickle juice doesn't have as much acidity as just straight up vinegar or straight up lemon juice. So you probably do want a little something extra in it to make them tender. But, you know, it's up to you. You're cooking it. It's your cookout. That's what I like. I'm going to be really generous with the spices because these are not all going to stay on here. And I'm probably going to do a couple of tablespoons of onion powder. If you do a spice blend, you're going to want to be really, really generous with it because not all the spices are going to stay on your pork. Want some salt in there. And you might want to add a little more salt when you grill them. I usually just serve salt and let people add salt if they want it on their plate. Going to be really generous with the black pepper, and I'm just using black pepper. Like I said, I'm just using basic stuff. If you've got different spices that you like, use what you like. And that's all I'm putting in mine. You can add garlic powder if you want to. I don't think I want to today. Just kind of mix that up. And like I said, we're going to add that into our Ziploc bag with our pork chops after we tenderize them. I do like to tenderize them with a regular meat tenderizer. A lot of people don't like to do this. They think it like breaks the meat down or something. I don't know. I think it makes it better. But if you have one of these, use it on both sides. I also think this lets the flavor get into the meat better. And it makes it taste better, not just more tender, but because it kind of opens up the grain and allows the flavor to get into it, I think it tastes much better. But you're just going to do that with all of your pork chops and add them to your Ziploc bag. And when we go out to the grill, all we're going to have to take is our Ziploc bag, not all of our spice containers and all that stuff. And also, to save money on your cookout, have folks bring sides. If everybody brings sides and desserts, you know, and you're just providing the grilled meat, whatever it is, whether you use the pork loin or something else, then that really cuts down the cost, and it doesn't cost a lot for anybody else. But you can provide the pork chops and the pulled pork for everybody for $20. And like I said, you can feed easy 20 people with this. I've got 20 pork chops. I could probably make 20 pulled pork sandwiches out of what I put in there. So like I said, you can feed a lot of people with this $20 here. And another way you can save some money on big cookouts is brew your own tea, make your own lemonade, even make some Kool-Aid. I mean, it was good enough for us when we were kids, and it's good enough for now. And nowadays you can get, you know, the instant tea and instant lemonade, and, well, you can get it when we were kids too. I mean, we drank a lot of Country Time lemonade when I was a kid. So you can do that stuff and save some money, and folks are still going to have fun. They're not going to care if they didn't get cans of some sort of soda and they had to drink lemonade instead, or they drank home-brewed tea instead. They're going to have a good time. If you can get together and get 20 people together and nobody goes broke and everybody has a good time, don't worry about where you have to cut corners. And like I said, this is good. So anyways, I'm just going to add this to the pork chops in the bag. And like I said, that's all I'm going to do. But you get 20 chops and enough pork to make 20 pulled pork sandwiches probably. So you can feed a crowd with this. I'm going to have to add a little bit more pickle juice to this, because that ain't going to go down on in my bag. You do have to have enough liquid in your marinade to get the spices down in the bag, and I didn't have enough there. So there we go. That'll do it. And I didn't measure a whole lot of that. And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of other liquids you can use. Pineapple juice would be excellent. Apple juice. You can just do buttermilk. You just have to have enough acidic liquid to get your spices mixed in what you're marinating. And then squish it. Right, now, I'm going to put this in the fridge, and it probably won't put it on the grill for a few hours. You want to let it sit at least a few hours. Like I said, you can even do it overnight. And when I go out to the grill, all I need is my tongs to put it on the grill. And I can clean up everything inside with soap and water and not worry about it having it on my hands or anything like that. So it's easier and it's safer, and we certainly don't want to make anybody sick at a big cookout. If you have everything sitting out outside, it's going to be sitting out longer in the heat before you actually start to cook it. That's another reason why I prepare everything inside. I even prepare my vegetables inside. And I'm going to take care of all that before I go out to the grill. So we'll be back in a little while outside at the grill. Okay, our pork chops have been marinating for a few hours. We're out at the grill. You do want to preheat your grill, and you want to get it really hot. the really hot grill will sear the outside of the pork chop, and it will seal the juices and the flavor inside. So I've got my grill preheated, and I'm going to cook these on high. If they start to burn and you're not quite ready to eat yet, you can turn it down. And these are pretty thick. It will take somewhere around 15-20 minutes to cook them. If you have a thinner pork chop, you might want to turn the grill down, like if you had them cut half-inch thick, you know, so you can feed more people. You might want to turn your grill down a little bit more so that you can cook them a little bit longer and so that they don't burn. But let's get these on the grill. You can see, maybe if I hold this up here, how all those spices and stuff are really stuck to the pork chops. That's what you want. And that's why I season everything I grill inside and I let it sit for a while. It's going to have way better flavor, and I don't have to try and sprinkle spices all over the grill and they'll get stuck in the rack and the wind will blow them, and I don't have to carry them in and out. You want to hear that sizzle when you add them to the grill. And even though I'm outside and I know my sound is not as good as it is inside, I'm sure you can hear that sizzle. If there's anything left in the bag, I do kind of drizzle it over the pork chops after I put them on the grill. And you can see the bag, how many of those spices are left in here. That's why I said be generous. There's a lot of spices left in the bag. So all the salt we put in there is not on the pork chops. All the pepper's not on there, and the onion and the garlic and all that stuff, which I didn't use garlic this time. But anyway. Now today, because I'm just doing this for a lunch, I've got some red potatoes in here that I seasoned and put butter in, and I'm just going to roast those. I cut them up. So we're going to have some roasted red potatoes, and then in a few minutes, I'm going to add some corn on the cob to this when I flip my pork chops over, because I don't want my corn on the cob to get burned. And we're going to have corn on the cob and roasted red potatoes today. But if you're doing a big cookout, like I said, have folks bring potato salad and coleslaw and pasta salad or macaroni salad, baked beans, some of them cowboy beans, and we'll link all that in here. I'll link the roasted potatoes and stuff. I'm doing the corn just like I did the microwave corn. I'm going to put it on here in the shucks, and then we're just going to cut the end, give it a little twist, and pull it apart, and that's all there is to the corn. And the potatoes, I have a roasted red potato video up. I'll link that too. And we'll be back and check on them in just a few minutes and flip them over, maybe 10 minutes or so before we flip them. Here's a cute little trick you can do if you just want to make them prettier. Before you turn them, or before you flip them, turn them at like a 90-degree angle. And that'll put a crosshatch grill pattern in them, and it'll make them a little bit prettier. Or as close to 90 degrees as you can get them. I got so many pork chops on here, I can't turn them at 90 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my corn on here. Like I said, just put it right in there in the shucks. And the ends of it get burned, but that's okay. And I'm hoping it'll stay up there. I've got so much stuff in my grill. And we're going to let them cook for just a few more minutes before we flip them. Here's a really good thing about making pork chops instead of steaks at your cookout. Not only can you do it for $2 a pound instead of $16 to $25 a pound, but you don't have to ask everybody how they want it cooked. There is no rare and medium well and well done. Everybody wants their pork chops cooked well done, because you don't want to eat rare pork. You do want to make sure it gets done. So you don't have to do special orders with pork chops, and you save just tons and tons and tons of money. Okay, we're going to try to flip our pork chops now without our corn falling. Probably won't do it. Maybe. Well, I didn't get my cross hatch in that one. Didn't get it in any of them. Nope, that one kind of has it. That's what I was talking about, the cross hatch on the pork chop. I can't get it turned right. There you go. It's pretty if you can get it. Oh, here's a good one. This one has it. Oops. My goodness. There, you can see it on that one. That's what I was trying to get. I got a couple of them that are pretty. These few right here are real pretty, so I won't barbecue sauce them. Now, if you want to put barbecue sauce on them, you can start adding it now and let it cook on this side, and then once the other side is done, flip it over and put a little bit on the other side. Or you can wait till later. Like I said, you don't have to at all. So I'm going to add a little bit of barbecue sauce to a few of them. I'm not going to barbecue all of them, because the extra ones, like I said, I'm going to vacuum and put them in the freezer and have them this winter. And I could add barbecue sauce to them when I take them out of the freezer, or not at all. And you can use any barbecue sauce at all, or you can make your own barbecue sauce. But keep in mind, not everybody likes barbecue sauce, so don't put barbecue sauce on all of them if pork chops are what you're making for your cookout. But just put a little on and brush it and let it cook in, like I said, while the other side is browning. And then you can turn it over and put a little on the other side. And you can also sit some barbecue sauce out on the table and serve them with a little barbecue sauce. And just use a barbecue sauce that you enjoy. You can see there the ones that I put the barbecue sauce on. I didn't overdo it. You can do however much you want, because like I said, it's your cookout, you're doing it. That one right there has the pretty cross hatches on it, and there's a couple in the back, you know, the grill marks. You can kind of see them on this one. Like I said, you don't have to worry about cooking rare pork chops, because nobody wants a rare pork chop, and you just get them all done. Make sure they're done. The fat, the brown, the really black stuff around the edge, that's the fat. It's gonna get black. That doesn't mean your pork chop is burned. Most people trim it off, and the folks who eat it tend to like it a little crunchy, so it's okay if that gets really brown. Don't worry about that, or even really black. It's the fat, and it's gonna cook that way. While we're waiting on our pork chops to finish cooking, this is our Independence Day video, our 4th of July video, and we are celebrating our nation's independence. It's not just an occasion to have a cookout or a party, or you know, it's not just any get-together occasion. This is celebrating our liberty and our freedom. And our country was founded by exceptional people who went above and beyond for the love of freedom and liberty. And I want to share Galatians 5:13 with you. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion of the flesh, but by love serve one another. Those of us who know true liberty, who know salvation, and who have a relationship with the Lord, we know that our freedom and our liberty is not just for us. We should not use it for selfish reasons, but we should use it to serve one another and to love one another and to make the world a better place. And that is what makes America so great, because so many of us understand that our liberty is not just for us, but it is for those people that we love. It is for all the people around us. It is for strangers that we don't even know, because liberty does make the world a better place. So while you're celebrating this 4th of July, remember to thank God for your freedom, to thank God for your liberty, and use your liberty to make the world a better place, not for selfish reasons. Use your liberty to make the Father look good and to show people His love. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Celebrate your liberty and your freedom with the Lord. Okay, some of my pork chops are getting really done. As stuff starts to get done on the bottom of your grill, you can move it up to the top rack and it won't get done as much. the ones that you put the barbecue sauce on, you do want to flip them and put a little bit on the other side and let it cook a little bit. Because it's just way better if it cooks a little bit and gets good and hot. And like I said, you can serve it on the table because lots of folks like to dip in sauces. But just brush it around on there, add a little and spread it around with your little brush. And here is another really, really big money-saving tip for y'all. If you like to grill and you need a grill, hold off until September or October. I got this grill 80% off, and I think it was like the very beginning of October. And I didn't need a grill when I bought it, and I didn't want to store it all winter. But I had this in my basement all winter after I bought it, but I got it so cheap. It was, you know, like I said, 80% off. And normally I could never even afford a grill like this because it's got the grill on this side and a smoker on this side and electronic probes. I've never even used this, but I'm going to use it this weekend with some of those pork chops that I saved. You know, we had 20 pork chops. I made 12 today, and I've got 8 in there. I'm going to smoke those this weekend and see how that comes out. And maybe we'll share some smoker videos at some point too. But, it, you know, 80% off, it was cheaper than a charcoal grill. So watch for that in September and October. Don't wait till Christmas, because at Christmas time they put them out again and they sell them as Christmas gifts. But September and October you can get some great deals on outdoor furniture and grills and all that stuff. So keep that in mind and keep your eyes peeled for that. They put it on sale right after July 4th, and just keep marking it down. Okay, I think our roasted potatoes are done. Our pork chops are done. We're going to have lunch now. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to bring you over here and show you the grill instead of piling them on a plate, because we want to keep them hot to eat. You want all that barbecue sauce bubbling. Like I said, that fat that was around the edges of the pork chops, that's what the real black stuff is on the edge. So it'll be nice and crispy. Our corn is good and hot. And all we got to do is cut the ends off and give it a little twist and pull the shucks off, just like we did in the microwave corn. And I'll share that video so you can see how to do that if you don't know how to do that. It's super easy. Here's our roasted potatoes. You can see what they look like. And making vegetables on the grill and foil like this is just a great way to keep heating up your kitchen. And it gives you a really simple side dish to go with whatever you're grilling if you don't want to make salads and stuff. Thank y'all so much for joining us, the Hillbilly Kitchen. If you have not already, please don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. Share all of our videos with your friends. And until next time, remember to put God first.